Hey everyone, it's Matt. This is Big League Small Talk, where we talk about anything Major League Baseball. And today is the 1 year anniversary of the blockbuster Rafael Devers trade. So we have to break that down and talk about how it's looking for each team 1 year later. And this was definitely a complex one. So let's set the scene. Uh, on this day last year, the Giants were in contention for the division. I think they were 10 games over 500. They've been searching for a big bat with a lot of power for years, maybe even over a decade, but they've had a lot of trouble attracting free agents, especially free agent left handed power hitters. And so I think they saw an opportunity to not have to sell someone on the organization. They could just trade for them. So Giants were in that position. They've been looking to get someone to take their money, basically, to come hit there. It's a tough ballpark to hit in. Um, Red Sox, they had Devers as their third baseman. They signed him to an extension. It sounded like there were promises made there of him being a franchise player. He'll be the cornerstone at third base. And then they went and signed Alex Bregman to play third base. Um, it's not an issue to try and upgrade your roster. That's their job. However, I think it's not what, but how. It doesn't sound like they talked to Devers at all about it. It was just kind of here's what you're going to do. Put away your glove. You're not going to play. All you're going to do is DH. And I think he felt disrespected by that, which I get. I think he could have handled the situation a little better. Um, then their first baseman got injured. They told him to go try first base, and he was basically refusing, saying, "No, that's not what you told me. I haven't even practiced out in the field," that kind of thing. I think it could have been handled better all around. I think the Red Sox tried to give him some negative press as well, which is um, pretty crazy for an organization to do to one of their players. So that's kind of setting the scene. Um, Devers was owed he had about 8 years, 250 million left on his contract, I believe. So a ton of money. And the Giants traded for Devers, but they traded away Kyle Harrison, their top pitching prospect in the organization. And he was still very young. They traded away their former first round pick, James Tibbs III, and they also traded away a minor leaguer. I think it's Jose Bello. He's kind of a low A ball guy, kind of a flyer. Maybe you could call him a little bit of a throw in on the deal. But they also traded away Jordan Hicks, a reliever. And I feel like people don't really include that enough in this conversation. That is a big offset in money for Devers' contract. Uh, Jordan Hicks was not performing at all, and he was still owed $25 million. So you're talking about bringing down that Devers contract by $25 million. That's a big deal. And I don't think the money is a big issue on this one for the Giants. They do spend a good amount of money. You could argue they should spend more, but they've been looking for this type of bat for a long time to take their money, and I think they've been willing to pay even more than that in the past. Um, just a little snapshot of the prospects at the time. Kyle Harrison was their top pitching prospect. He'd been up in the major leagues some, back down in AAA a little bit. He'd had some good games, flashed a lot of promise. He has a really, really impressive fastball, kind of that deceptive lower arm slot. But he'd had some rough patches as well. He was pitching more okay overall than anything. He did struggle with some small injuries, and he really, I was shocked to see he made it to the major leagues without really any kind of a secondary pitch. His slider, breaking ball, and changeup, like they just weren't very good, honestly. And I can't believe they didn't just stick him in the minor leagues for a little bit longer and say, throw nothing but off speed until you figure it out. Work on these pitches. It doesn't matter what your stats look like. We know you can throw the ball. So that was pretty surprising to see. So that's where things stood with him. A lot of potential there. Hadn't fully realized it yet. Tibbs was a first round pick out of college, so he should have been somewhat fast tracked. Um, I think everybody saw the hitting talent there, but he was seen as a little bit of a potential risk of just being a platoon bat so that he could only bat against righties, essentially. And that's been true in his minor league career until this year. And he's also profiles as a corner outfielder, not as valuable as an up the middle guy like a center fielder. So maybe seen as a little bit more expendable because of those possibilities. And I keep saying this, even if Harrison and Tibbs pan out and become good ball players, that's okay. You have to give up value to get value in trades. It can't be one sided. That rarely happens. And nowadays, it's so hard to make trades. Front offices are being so careful, overly careful, in my opinion. And it, you have to take that chance and you have to give something to get something. And they knew they were losing a little bit of pitching, but they feel confident in their pitching development and ability to sign pitchers. But that's the kind of bat that they've been trying to sign for years. So I think it made a ton of sense. And from the Red Sox perspective, that was becoming a PR disaster. It was becoming a whole headache around the team. They were able to shed Devers' big salary and reallocate that to mostly pitching. Um, I think the big thing is they never really replaced his bat in the lineup, and they're paying for that. So both teams have trended downwards since the trade overall. Neither team is doing well this year. Um, Devers on the Giants side is partially to blame for that. He had a horrendous start to the season. He was really bad. He had a scorching hot May, looked like his usual self, and then he's kind of cooled off a bit here in June. So he's been about average this year, and they need him to be well above average to great. So 2025, if you want to talk about that a little bit, he hit very well for the Giants. I think weighted runs created plus had him at 30% better than league average. He hit 25 home runs with the Giants. So that ballpark in San Francisco was not suppressing his power. I believe he ended the year with 35 home runs. The strikeout rate is a bit concerning. He's striking out at a career high rate, and he's swinging and missing at a lot of hittable pitches, really. So there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made there. He does tend to hit better as the season goes on. So the Giants really need him to really hit well in that lineup. He can't be average for them. And I believe he has some deferrals in his contract too, so that helps with the money situation if that was a consideration. I mean, it's a lot of money, but like I said, they've been looking to spend that money on a hitter. And he has played first base a lot this year. And to my eye test, he looks pretty good over there. He's constantly improving. It looks like he's put in the work. I know he took a crash course learning curve there last year when he came over to the Giants, just learning first base. I think he worked with Will Clark some, JT Snow maybe. And of course, the Giants have Ron Washington on the coaching staff this year, and he's kind of an infield guru. He's really helped Luis Ariz, for example, shed his reputation as a poor defender, and he looks like a Gold Glove second baseman this year. So anyway, this year, 2026, Kyle Harrison has since been traded from the Red Sox to the Milwaukee Brewers, and he started making some adjustments with the Red Sox. He didn't pitch much or great with the Red Sox, but he started making some adjustments, came to the Brewers, finished making adjustments, kind of adjusted his arm slot a little bit, and he's having a great year so far. He has an ERA under 3. He's their number 2 starter, and he's looking very promising. He could be fulfilling that potential of a top of the rotation starter. We'll see how that continues to play out. But right now, it's looking very good for Milwaukee, very bad for the Red Sox. And then Tibbs, the Red Sox also traded him away. They traded him away for a rental pitcher from the Dodgers, Dustin May, who didn't do much and then left as a free agent. So they got nothing but salary, basically some salary relief in that trade. Um, Tibbs is playing very well for the AAA affiliate in Los Angeles, for Los Angeles. He has not had platoon splits this year. He's hitting lefties and righties both well. Um, the Pacific Coast League is known to be extremely hitter friendly. So you have to kind of take inflated, you'd have to know the stats are a bit inflated, but he is still hitting very well. So the Red Sox basically, I think they look a little silly here. They got nothing for either of those guys. I do give them credit for spending some of that money that they saved. The Giants certainly are not thrilled at all where they're at. I think they have to like that Devers hit very well last year after they acquired him. I think they have to like that he's playing first base well. He's kind of in a timeshare there with rookie Bryce Eldridge, who is incredibly impressive, but he's not going to wow you with the glove, at least not yet. He's also relatively new to first base. Um, so I think Devers just needs to maybe make some adjustments, especially with how he approaches the early season. And I I think he could still be easily be a good bat for them, but I think they need him to be closer to great, at least for the next few years. So let me know what you guys think about the trade. There's a lot to this one. People got sent all over the place, a lot of money being paid, top prospects involved. It was a fun one. I love to see more blockbuster trades like that. We know Buster Posey sent a signal right off the bat that if this team performs, he's going to reward them and make a push, make a big, take a big swing. And I love that personally. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Any questions you might have if I didn't cover anything, any questions about baseball in general, and any possible discussion topics. So see you next time.